Wired Axcess.
We'll do it live.
Wired Axcess.
Do it live.
Wired Axcess.
We'll do it live.
Wired Axcess.
Welcome to another episode of Wired Axcess Podcast, a Heard At production. I'm your host, DJ K-Dub Omaha. To my left, we have a former Omaha Benson Bunny and graduated from Toledo.
Not yet. I graduate next semester.
Ooh, next semester from Toledo, Ohio,
Yeah.
Miss Quinesha Lockett. And we have a well-known in the lady basketball world in Omaha, Coach Ricky Ruffin. Thank you guys for coming on the show. I appreciate it. Now, what you're doing at Toledo is what people really should know about, but the journey to get to Toledo probably wasn't as easy as everybody felt it might have been or know what you go through. So that's what we're here to do. We're here to talk about your experience all the way up, how Coach Ruffin, obviously he has a good connection with you, but for me, it's also just his connection with girls basketball.
Okay.
Because not every coach is passionate about the kids. Sometimes they're more about everything else besides the kids.
Okay.
But every time I see this guy, it's kids, 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 and what you guys get. When did you start, or do you even remember when you started basketball?
I actually do remember. It was fifth grade year. It was actually the fifth grade year, maybe my fifth grade year of elementary school. So I really think I just got into it just because my brother was playing basketball, and I started at Fontenelle Elementary School, and it just went up from there. The summer of my fifth grade year, that's when I had actually started playing like AAU basketball and outside basketball, but it started fifth grade.
So when you think of the start of fifth grade and you're getting into basketball, what did the AAU teach you in that early stage?
I can't be soft. I can't be soft at all. Like when I first started, I was definitely my mom called me olive oil. Like she called.
Okay.
Literally,
I could see that.
yes, she called me olive oil. And just playing AAU, it just told me all these girls out here ain't gonna be as soft as they were in school, because anybody can play in school basketball. You just got to try out. But in AAU, people are actually playing for what they want to do outside of outside of school and stuff like that. So it just taught me to be strong out there.
So when you learned these lessons for being strong, you were also a multi-sport athlete.
Yeah.
How did the AAU basketball teachings teach you to be different at the other sports?
I would say the connections, making a different type of connections with your teammates. It really just brings the sport more joy to it. It makes it more fun. So I don't know. I would just say spending more time in the summer with each other, just basically almost every day, going out of town, traveling. It just taught me to bring that back to soccer or volleyball or track or anything like that, just to make it a team thing, not just an individual thing.
And when you look at the team factor and you look at what qualities it helps with and what qualities it brings, going up through the junior high, obviously someone shared a little bit of something before. Coach Ruffin, what was one of the things that you guys were noticing back in the seventh grade with Q?
We looked at her, what we would say her energy level, and she had a high energy level. As I say, her tank was full. She had an engine, and you very seldom find a kid that young with an engine that just goes and goes and goes. Like I say, I had an opportunity to coach against her 2 years when I was at South, and let's just say I'm glad I became her coach.
Yeah,
It's a little thing. But, what even gets you in connection with a seventh grader? Obviously, I understand eighth grade coming into high school, but you're starting the process in that seventh grade, right? To try to...
At that point, I want to say was that around 2014 or 15, we were just coming off our state championship at Benson. We knew our senior class at that time was going to be graduating. So you hate to say it, you got to get out there and recruit kids. Mm-hmm. And her connection with Unity Stars as our AAU club, finest Coach Jones was one of the Unity Stars guys. So we was periodically go out to high school games to middle school games to see what income eighth graders were out there so we could put them on our radar. And we was watching Losing Clark played somebody, and we looked at her, and I said, "Finest, who is that?" And he said, "Her name is Q." And I said, "Well, she's gonna be a player." And at that time, we were in transition of getting a new head coach,
Which makes it hard. I mean, because if they're going to try to if you're trying to commit to, you're committing most of the time to a coach. So if you're in the process of looking coach, how was that?
Exactly. And it's, I hate to say it, the high school game is coming like the college game. You basically are out there recruiting kids. Some coaches are promising them starting positions or whatever. My goal for parents that I knew or whatever, I would only promise two things. I would take care of your daughter like she's my own, and I'm going to make sure she gets her education done right. Because again, you're only going to be a basketball player as longer than you're going to be a woman longer than you're going to be a basketball player. And you got to get that academics. And for girls back in those days, if you weren't getting that big time scholarship to go to a Toledo or like Kiana Ibis, Arizona State, or Simone Goods, who went to, I think it was Southern Illinois, your education academic scholarship can get you to play both. So you got to utilize that. And like I say, with Q, for the 2 years I was with her, she never was an academic problem. Practiced the way she played with energy. I told her about when I first saw her when she came back that, hey, she is a phenomenal person.
And you know, the biggest thing is you find these special athletes that have no idea their potential.
Yes.
So Q, when you think back to the 7th, 8th grade, what made you fall in love with basketball? Because the multi-sport athlete, you could have done anything.
Right.
You were qualified to do anything. You were able to do it. You had the ability to do it. What brought your love to basketball, and when did it happen?
I would definitely, it was probably in between my 7th and 8th grade year when I'm really playing AAU basketball and I'm not really noticing like how good I am or like what my potential was, but it was just like seeing how hype my family would get or how hype my coaches would get, like seeing me do something that I really had no idea what I'm out there doing. Like I'm just out there doing it, and like just to see like how good I actually was, but not even actually working on the things that I could work on to make myself elevate even better. But like that's what really did it for me, just seeing where I could be, not even knowing where I was at, you know.
And when you think of those days and you're going through 7th, 8th, now you're into freshman, you're into high school, OPS, not easy. No matter what anybody says, an inner city school here in OPS is not easy when it comes to sports.
Right.
Not all the kids have the same drive as Q.
Right.
Not all the kids want the same goals as Q. What's some of the struggles that you felt through your high school career, no matter the sport, with the athletes not matching up to your energy?
That would definitely be one of the things, like that the other athletes not matching to my energy, because like with basketball, I would say it was definitely like I knew I wanted to play basketball coming out of high school. Like I wanted to go play in college, maybe even further.
Exactly.
Maybe even further. And I feel like those, like the girls didn't have that same type of drive. Like they were just doing it just to be active after school or just to do something. But like for me, like that was one thing I harped on. Like you got to come in here and work hard. Like you want to do it. Don't just come because you know you probably had to or something like that. Number two, I would say you know, I'm very competitive. Like in practice, if we go on one-on-one or playing in drills, like I want to win. I want to win every time. Like so, if you're on my team and you don't want to win, I don't want you on my team. Like
it's contagious, though, right?
Yeah.
You saw some of your fellow athletes start converting, right, through the years.
For sure. Like I could. Oh, go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah.
This is your show.
Yeah, like I could talk about one of my teammates, Kiana Estima.
Okay.
That girl, she was so fast. Like she was more into track.
Okay.
And that's why she, you know, like she wasn't really like basketball is just all right. But like I remember like our freshman year, like she would not really try to go as hard. Like I know you're the fastest person on the floor. Like why are you not beating me down the court? You know, and
so you're holding accountable at a freshman level, which 90% of the time is the hardest thing to do, because you don't want people to hate you.
Right.
But when you're setting the standard, that brings this story full circle.
That's more for me. Like I lead by example. Like I never was the person to just go out there and just talk to you for real. Like I'm gonna show you better than I can tell you. And that's how I really lead.
And so then how did she fit into your development, and how did How did she?
Oh, I had to have a talk with Kiana.
Yeah.
I did. And her mom too as well. Like her mom and dad pushed her more than anybody else, obviously.
Yes, they did.
Obviously, yeah.
They did.
Especially her
They
dad.
did.
But like, you know, like hearing it from your teammate is definitely better than hearing it from your parents. So like once you just tell somebody like we honestly need you out here, and it just changed the whole thing.
And you said you talked to her parents.
No, her
Oh.
parents talked to her.
Oh, I got you. Okay. I was like, dang, you went all the way to the parents and said, hey, I'm trying to help her. Can you help her help me help you?
What you also got to understand with Q and Kiana, they were best friends.
Which
So,
makes it harder,
yes,
right?
and
To
makes
hold
it harder, but
accountable.
Parents knew each other. I believe your mom knew her dad back at Boys Town.
Yep.
Like I told you, your mom is a Boys Town legend.
Mm-hmm.
So, and her
Had them
father
wheels.
kind of was a Boys Town legend in basketball as well, because I believe he played for Dexter Brown. Back in
Okay.
those days. So, but, you know, and like you say, when you're an athlete like you, with that high energy, that leadership, you lead by example.
Well, and I was going to ask you, Coach, I mean, when you see her effort and you see what she's given, how can you try to get your athletes to understand and accept it instead of thinking she's just harping on me? What do you do as a coach?
It's easy when you, like I say, your number one athlete, your best player is working hard. It is very easy because with them doing it, and we weren't, you know, we weren't showing favoritism. You know, if she did something wrong, yeah, we would get into it. Now, her mistakes or lack of effort were very few. Like I said, I have the fortunate of being at Benson because I'm an alumni and I've been through some of the greats, starting with Stephanie Jones in the late 90s, Kiana Ibis to 15, then Q. When you take all three of them, they're all great players, all good people, but each of them had a different characteristic that set them apart. With Stephanie, back in those days, Stephanie probably was the prototype of high school 6'1" girls that played post. They handled the ball like a guard, shot like the ball, moved like a gazelle and everything. Went to Nebraska her freshman year, then went on and finished at Missouri State, played over in Australia, where she is still now.
Nice.
Hey.
Yes.
You got Kiana Ibis. Remember seeing Kiana Ibis because I came to Benson, back to Benson after my South year, the first year of Kiana Ibis, and watching her grow. Kiana very humble. Defensively, good defensive players. Basically could jump out of the gym.
For sure.
Probably started playing more of a wing, shooting the threes her senior year. You know, that knee injury she got her senior year was very unfortunate, but she went on to Arizona State, did wonderful things. You got Q, okay? Engine. If you take all three of them, the difference between Steph and Kiana, Steph knew she was good. Steph was kind of, I'm going to say, cocky.
Yeah. I mean,
And you got to have that.
you got to have that, right?
The big, as we say, if you got dog in you, you got to be cocky.
Yes.
Kiana, very humble. Very
Yes.
humble. Big thing. But between Q and Kiana, the only difference, 6'1" to 5'9". If she had Kiana Ibis height,
Does that not change like the 5'9"? Now in high school, obviously, you probably reached that sophomore, junior year, 5'9", or do you think senior year?
I don't know. I feel like I feel like I've been 5'9" for forever. I can't even tell you.
Like I said, I came on her junior year.
Yeah.
But I watched her from her freshman, and she I don't think if she was 5'8", then she maybe grew an inch.
Maybe.
And that's a bad thing about girls. They don't get those summer spurts of
3-4 inches.
Like, right. In the hops and all.
You don't get the Scottie Pippen where you 6'5" in the summertime, and then over the summer you 6'9". Those don't happen
Crazy.
for girls.
Yeah.
But that's the difference between the three. Those are, to me, with the exception of Val Harrison, who just got inducted into our Hall of Fame, those are probably, to me, some of the four best basketball players that come out of Benson, girls in a while. And that's, I'm gonna say, in the modern era. Back when I was in school, when Title IX first started, we had a young lady named Ruth Ann McDaniel. You know Ken Keefe, right?
Yeah.
This is his aunt.
Okay.
So, but again, just being around the humbleness, you got to be humble. Even as a coach, you want to be humble. You know.
Well, I mean, that's
and that's the optics.
That's how you get along.
Yes.
I mean, even with this show, like when people are like, "Oh man, like I just do what I do," and it's all about them.
And
at no time, none of this is. It's all my show. Yes, I'm the host, but it's about getting their story and getting their how good they are because they've done the sacrifice. And I didn't sacrifice nothing.
Yes.
And speaking of sacrifice, what's one of the hardest sacrifices you think you did back in high school that some kids are kind of afraid to do?
In high school?
Is there anything that you could think of? And maybe you don't even know it as a sacrifice because sometimes when your parents and your siblings teach you right, you don't understand sometimes that word.
It's not, I would say, like, I don't want to say like it's really a sacrifice, but like, you know, spending time like with your friends in the summer. Like, I'm in the gym. Like, I was playing AAU basketball, so I didn't get to spend as much time with my cousins and stuff back then, like just going outside having fun. But I would just say that was really one of the ones that I could just think of right now. Off the top of my head.
What, like, did they accept it?
My friends or my family?
Both. I mean, because sometimes family, even to the state, can go, she just thinks she's better than us. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's not out of hate. It's just
she
you're
was
trying to achieve.
She was
something.
on the grind. She was on the grind.
Exactly. A grind that it's not something you can do day in and day out unless you want it. You gotta want.
I would say yes and no. Like I got a lot of my friends now just from basketball. So we in the same grade playing on the same team. So a lot of them I didn't have no problems with, oh, we're not going out this weekend, or oh, we're not doing that this weekend. But like my cousins or family, they'd be like, oh, like you got another game, or are you doing this? Like I thought you was coming over this weekend or something like that. Nope, I got a game. Come watch my game though.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what I mean, when you're busy and you know what you got to do and you put yourself to the grind, how did this affect your other sports or help the other sports?
Track, I would say getting to the grind with basketball, that affected it a little bit because AAU time is during track season. So I'm really trying to just hurry up and go to basketball practice before, like, as soon as we get done with track practice.
So tell people how that feeling is, not just physically, mentally, your stomach. I mean, it all has to like go in line when you're going from school for 6 hours to 8 hours, depending on the year.
Yeah.
If you're a senior, sometimes you get out early, right to practice, to another practice. Like those things have to be instilled in you to want to do them. It's not something.
It's a want. It's literally a want. Like I wanted to do that. Like I could have not done track or not did basketball in the summer, but I wanted to do it. Like I wanted to be a 2-sport athlete every year round, and I wanted to just go and play basketball with my friends and have fun out there. But I would definitely say going from track to basketball was definitely a little bit tiring on my legs, but it was just fun. Like I feel like I had the most time right after track going straight to basketball.
And what all did you do for track?
So it was just all over the place every year. But I remember I did.
What was your main events that you really liked?
I like jumping. I did triple jump, high jump, and then 4x1. And I ain't even saying.
So did AAU basketball make it harder to get to state when it came to those events?
No.
Or do you think that you still had
qualified?
It made it easier.
Yeah, you had all opportunities. So, because obviously you have to participate, but also you have the chance of possibly, because I know maybe more now than it was back then, but now they're having kids do a few college meets like that go on Saturday or Friday where they go to Concordia or they go to something. Did you ever have to do that, or was it just strictly high school to high school when it came to track?
I used to go to Kearney.
Yeah, we went to Kearney. We went to Doane, maybe South Dakota State. Yeah, we did those.
So did those ever affect your AAU, or did it all just kind of work out in your mind?
It worked out. We were literally going like during school days. So like, if anything, it was affecting school, but they would make sure like we had to get our schoolwork done before we left or something like that. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people.
So when you talk about schoolwork, the education, coach made it important.
That's a big part.
How do you keep it straight?
So for me, it like coming up, I really wasn't focusing on school. Like I didn't really say, oh, school is going to be like what I'm going to do. I was thinking basketball is going to be my way out of here. Basketball is going to be my way out of here. But I started to figure out, like, if you don't have the grades for this, then certain schools aren't going to look at you, or even when you want to go to AAU tournaments or something, they're not going to look at you because you don't have the grades to qualify to come to their school. So in my junior year, I'm really just like, oh my, like, and it took me that late, like literally, like maybe even the middle of my junior year to really just start focusing on school and getting my work done, because my mom told me, she was like, my mom was like, if you don't get these, like, if you don't start doing your schoolwork and getting these grades up, you will not be playing basketball. I said, okay.
See, and that,
okay.
Coach Ruffin, you have been around so many parents and kids. And when you see these conversations not happen, how do you feel as a coach? And how does a conversation like this help you as a coach?
When you look at a kid, and like I said, I guess I'm an old school coach. Our middle school football coach was Coach William Reed, whose granddaughter actually was Kaya's grandfather.
Kaya's?
Yes, her grandfather was my football coach and teacher at Benson, and he always told us to take care of classes and everything. My mom passed away when I was 19 after I graduated from high school, and she always told me and my two brothers and sisters, for us to show her our appreciation for her taking care of and raising us, we had to get our high school diploma. So,
see, and it's nothing.
It's the foundation. Like I said, if a parent sets the foundation for that kid to understand the importance of the academic, because in life and reality, our cars we all have, they can repossess them from us. The house that you own, you could lose that. Hate to say this, somebody could steal your life from you. But the one thing no one ever can take from you is the education you learn. And that's why it's important to make sure you get that plan B. You know, like you said, she got a year to go. We're hoping WNBA, but the question would be, what is your plan B?
You want to know?
Yes.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with him asking. I like
what is your
it.
plan B?
So honestly, I really just honestly started to think about it because a couple of years ago, I've just been thinking, like, I got time. And I'm just kept on saying, I got time. And hopefully, like, I'll keep going on and playing basketball after this. But even after I play basketball, I would like to do a little something, maybe just open up a center where I can come back and help, because I like coaching. I like working with little kids. So that's something that I know, like, I can do that. Like,
you want to give back to the community that
of course
gave you, and that is one of the best things. And you're probably one of the few athletes out of my 35 years of coaching who have actually said that.
Because it's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard.
And I understand,
but the payoff is huge.
But you know,
correct. Like you get out what you get out what you give out.
Give back what you give. You know, or the movie Pay It Forward.
Pay it forward.
Pay it forward.
I don't know that movie.
So we already know what the future is holding. You get through high school.
Mm-hmm.
What's the legacy you think you left at Benson?
A big one. I don't know. I can't really put the finger on it because, you know, I really ain't been back to Benson in a little bit yet. So, but
did you leave it better than when you arrived?
Of course. I would say, of course. Like, I feel like I set a good standard for the girls that was below me. And even though, like, my little sister played after me, so, like, I know she had the same type of little something I had in me, even though it took her a little while to get there.
Yes.
But it
did.
did.
It did.
But
Tay-Tay.
But I just hope that, like, you know, they took my grit and my grind and all the effort that I put in and wanted to do the same thing that I was doing there.
If there was a sport that you played that you could have went beyond what you're doing, and let's say basketball was not an option, what sport would that be?
I already think I know. I do.
I mean, you were a 4-sport letter at Benson.
I really liked volleyball.
Bingo.
I like.
And what position did you play for volleyball?
I did setter, right, middle.
Gotcha.
She all 6 rotations.
All 6
Literally.
rotations.
Wherever she needed to go.
Now, see, I know this is strong in his blood because, I mean, all I see is him.
Also,
exactly.
So
him
either
and Coach Sanders.
Yes.
I mean, they go way back.
Yes.
That's his best friend.
And, you know, even to me, when I think of, he asked you that question about what was the correlation between your sports, when you think of basketball player and volleyball players, footwork is all the same.
Yeah.
It helps you.
That one
Jumping, loading your hips, learning how to go up the block or the spike. It's like going up for that rebound or that jump shot. Track is going to teach you the speed part, how to utilize your speed. Or in basketball, and I would say with her, speed kills.
Yeah.
So what do you say though when sometimes people claim AAU, or even let's just say in any sport, they're trying to utilize people to be one sport athletes? What is your word for that?
I mean, I would say it just makes you a little bit more versatile if you're playing more than one. Like if you're playing more than one sport, you honestly appreciate your other sport more. And that, I feel like that's for me. I would say people shouldn't say that. That's just all.
Do you feel like it helped with the love just of all the games and built a culture for yourself?
For sure, because like in the off season,
you had passion.
Yeah,
she had passion for
everything
the sport.
I did.
So and that's the thing about it. Those 3 sport athletes with that passion,
you can't teach it.
You can't teach it. It's just something that inside your heart that you have. And like she's saying, hey, passion to do it all. And my response to the part about the 3 sport athlete, I don't have a problem with 3 sport athletes. I think if you watch Nebraska volleyball, you hear Coach Cook say all the time, out of the 12 girls on this team, maybe 8 to 9 of them were 2 and 3 sport athletes. And I think though, and me and Mrs. Coach Jones got into a debate about this today, I think, let's say Q is a freshman coming in, let her try the volleyball, basketball.
See if it's still a love that she likes,
and
right?
Then her junior or sophomore year, same thing. By her junior year, you're going to be good in one of them. And now you are being recruited. Now you got to give that sport the majority of your time.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up because that's the next step, recruiting process. For kids, parents, there's a lot of parents that haven't went through any of that. They have no idea what their kid's going to go through. What could you explain about your recruiting process and how you ended up wanting to play for Toledo?
The recruiting process for me, I had no idea about nothing really. Like it's me, like I'm the first one going to college to play basketball out of all my siblings. So I'm really the test trial to test everything out. But
which is a success, as you can see.
Yes,
which is
very
a success.
So it was really, I would say, going to AAU games, playing in those tournaments is where I actually started seeing like college coaches sitting out there in the little stands or whatever. Or I think I had a couple come to my high school game if I can remember. But yeah, it was just
Toledo
like
did come watch you live. I don't know if you knew they came.
My mom told me
to know or not to know.
Don't know.
And don't worry about it, right?
Don't worry about it, because if you're thinking about it, you go, I got to make this shot. Oh, I got to do this. And you're harping on the whole thing. Everything you do bad, you're just like, oh, they seen me do that. They seen me do that. But it's really, they really trying to see how you bounce back from everything is what it is.
Adversity. Adversity.
Yes. So, the phone calls you get, you start getting phone calls from coaches, and those phone calls are usually, how you doing, what you up to now, where do you think about going, and we would love for you to come here. This is what our facilities look like.
Did you have a lot of offers?
Not really, no, I didn't. And most of my offers were like D2 or something like that. I had a couple of D1 offers, but not very much. And I would say that's like, here in Omaha, I feel like we got to get like the girls out there a lot more, like a whole lot more. Like I know we travel and we do this and we do that, but I just feel like social media, that's really what I'm gonna get to. Like social media really puts us out there. Like, and I see a lot of girls from wherever they are now, like even in Toledo, like close to Detroit, Michigan, like they post a lot of videos, like highlight clips of themselves out there playing and stuff and posting their games. And that's a lot. That's another way like coaches recruit nowadays, like social media.
Well, and I think it's a process of you never know who's watching.
Correct.
And every job that I learned it as a young person, where you never know who your next customer is. You never know who your next boss is. You'll never know. So you're always, if you always show what you have every time, the rest will come out in the signing of the papers and in the future. Obviously, you get the offer for Toledo. What was that experience like?
It was scary. I want to say, like, at first it was scary, but once like I went on my visit and I got to meet everybody, like all my nerves went away, like right from the jump, like seeing my coach and meeting the teammates, like that really helped me out. I feel like I needed to have like some type of like home feeling for me to be able to go so far away, because I'm far away from my family, not really knowing much about life yet. But yeah, once I get there and I'm talking to everybody and I'm getting to see the facilities, amazing, by the way. Like, I love our gym. And it's so hard. Our gym is called Savage. Like, what? That's so hard.
I like the name. I like it.
Yes, but yeah, seeing the facilities. And campus is not like, it's a circle. It's very like everybody knows each other. Like, you can go around and see all the athletes. Like,
What made you do the visit to Toledo?
To Toledo?
Yeah.
That was just my first visit. I'm not really sure. I feel like I was pretty comfortable talking to Coach Page and Coach Swafford on the phone, and that really helped.
Yeah, it's and Coach Ruffin, one thing you say is kids around here, it's good if they do get offers from here, but getting out into the real world, especially if they're as talented, but also has her head on the shoulders right. How does that feel for her to go that far away from home? And how do you think that experience helped?
I really do think it helped a lot. Harping back, like I say, with Steph Jones, I was a first-year coach at South when Steph was a senior, and I was her AAU coach.
Yeah.
And she was having all her college coaches call me instead of calling Coach Holston. And I didn't, like I said, I'm old school. I didn't like the disrespect.
For sure.
So I finally talked to Texas coach, and I said, I'm not the coach at Benson anymore. I left to be the head coach at South. Yada, yada, why are you not talking to Coach Holston? And so she said, well, Steph lists you down as a club coach. And it's not disrespect to Coach Holston, but he said, when you're playing on a high school team, the schedule you play is set.
Yes.
Your team is set. So you may be a good team playing bad teams.
Yes.
When you're talking AAU, you're best playing
the best.
Yeah.
And so from that aspect of it, I understood it. But with Steph, when the recruiting, she still had me involved with her recruiting when they were recruiting her. And like I said, I know UConn came after her. She wanted me to come to that one. I told her I couldn't. But I gave her a basketball, and I have a personal autograph ball from Gino.
Okay.
But then she had like Duke.
So all these colleges outside of here see the talent.
Yes, but the touch base with you, how you were saying that. I said, Steph, you've been playing basketball every minute on the court since you started in 7th grade. 1. Can you redshirt if they want to redshirt you? She said, I don't know, Coach Ruffin. I said, 2, you a mama girl.
Yeah, I am.
Okay? You're a mama girl and a daddy girl. Are you going to be able to go to a UConn or Duke and your parents stay in Nebraska? She said, well, Coach, I asked my mom if I was accepted to Duke college scholarship, would they move to North Carolina? They told me no. So they done. So that's the point about it. You know, they got to be willing to reach out and go. Jasmine Archie, Jasmine Archie.
Yeah.
When Jasmine got recruited to go play at Dillard's in New Orleans, me and her father was at a Final Four in St. Louis, and we met the coach and started talking. And Jasmine willing to go there. I said, well, she said she needed 2 guards. I said, well, I got a package deal for you. Jasmine's running mate is willing, is just as they played together for 4 years and yada, yada, yada.
Mm-hmm.
And when I asked Jasmine's running mate, we're not going to say any names, she just did not want to go away from home.
Gotcha.
And I understood that. So, it takes a kid to get out of like she said, she had to learn how to live. Like I told you with me.
Yeah.
My brother told me I couldn't go to UNO when I promised my mom I was going to college. He made me go to UNL, so I learned how to live. My first year, I came back, like I say, Thursday through Monday. That next year, my sister literally had to beg me to come home. I stayed in Lincoln.
You grew up.
Yes,
you figured it out.
I didn't need to come home anymore. You don't need that 15 or 20-minute drive to come home. The coaches went to watch her play. Remember when they came, Coach Darryl and them came out to Toledo?
Yep.
I was gonna come.
I remember.
But the problem was I was flying out of the country on spring break
Oh,
about 2 weeks later, and I couldn't at that time put money together to do that. You know,
time means everything.
Mhm.
But
And
like I say, I watched her every time she was on TV.
well,
Every time.
and you talk about these decisions and you talk about how mom is important. Who helped you make the decision that Toledo, Ohio is not too far away, but you'll find a home?
It was really my mom and my dad. Like when we went on my visit, and you know, they had seen how comfortable I was there, and they were both getting very emotional, and they seen that I wasn't that emotional. Like I just fit there. Like it was like I was not even away from home. Like all my roommates, all my teammates was just, we so goofy together. It don't make no sense how she recruited us, and we all have like similar personalities, but like they're not the same at all. Like I don't know if it makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So like them just
You don't want 12 of the same same personas on.
Yeah. No.
But you do want them to be adaptable and able to accept the wide variety.
Chemistry.
Yeah.
Chemistry matters.
You definitely need to have that chemistry on and off the court.
And we
You
did.
definitely do.
We had that, a lot of the same traits in that way too. But so yeah, like my parents being comfortable with me being comfortable there is what really did it for me.
Well, that's always a great part of it is having the family support. When you look at the AAU route, how did that change, or did you still play that following year after you made your decision for Toledo, or were you done after you made your decision to Toledo?
I still played. I believe I did.
You would have
But-
been in the 17 and under age group then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but with my senior, I don't think I could
Not
play my
after your
senior.
senior year.
Yeah,
no,
no.
I couldn't play my senior year.
90% of the time when you sign that scholarship,
Most of the time-
coaches don't want you to play.
Play.
Yeah.
No, they, you, as I hate to say it, you now belong to them.
You do.
You now belong to them, and then they don't want you to waste playing because you're playing AAU to get looks. to get a
Right.
Yes.
scholarship.
Correct.
Yes.
So for her, once she was an unsigned senior, it's a different story.
Mhm.
You let them play,
Yeah.
but once you sign, and even to the fact it's a rule that they can't play, you could lose eligibility. So
So I didn't. Look, so I didn't. But,
yeah, she didn't. She followed the rules.
She followed the rules. Don't
Yeah.
worry. But so we get to your college, we get through high school. You're now into college. You just finished your 5th year. You went through a crazy time.
I didn't finish. My
No,
fifth.
she didn't.
4th, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
fourth.
4th. Sorry.
That's
just
a lot
finished.
question.
You just finished through some crazy times that other people can't compare to. COVID.
Mm.
What was that like for you
COVID.
in college?
COVID in college was so crazy. Like our first year, we already just freshmen. We're new getting into this, so we really don't know a lot of stuff going in. But I just remember we're in the tournament. We're in MAC tournament. We just beat the #1 team, and we're like 8th seed. Beat the #1 team.
Can I ask you a question? Didn't y'all play that one in Vegas?
The game in Vegas?
Yes.
Yeah, we played a game in Vegas.
You don't know this though.
What?
Me and the Taps were in Vegas. Me and Tap was coming to watch y'all play, and they canceled it.
Oh,
We were in Vegas when they shut Vegas down for COVID.
oh. Shut,
But if
you
I'm
said it
correct,
loud enough. Shut
yeah,
Vegas down.
Down.
And we when we found out that you were playing in Vegas.
No. We was in Cleveland
Okay.
when they shut us down for COVID. But
Okay.
we played in Vegas. We played in Vegas though. I do
Okay.
remember playing in Vegas.
Well, we were gonna come to you. You didn't know that, but something happened to us where we didn't make it to the game.
I wish I could have made it. That would have been. Look, I really meant like that would have been
Exactly.
so lit. Like,
Tap was
I
a
love-
track coach.
So you get through COVID. It's crazy.
Mm.
Did you guys have how many quarantines through the time?
look,
I only asked because my daughter was in Manhattan. She played at a Christian college for soccer.
Uh-huh.
They had 7 times.
They
7
had
times
to sit out?
quarantine.
it wasn't that much for
Quarantine.
us.
Okay.
7 times.
No, we had.
Like mentally. Like I just can't fathom what you.
how long was it? 2 weeks.
Well, yeah, they had it. They was back with the 2 weeks.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Because I couldn't imagine 7 times, but I could say like maybe 3. Like the first time we had to quarantine, and then there was a time where something like happened after school, so where everybody had to just take a break from the facilities, and then there was another time where me and my teammates we had to quarantine. Like I
Yeah.
can't even think about how it all happened, but yeah,
It
was a
just-
while ago.
It was the same with high school.
Yeah.
There were times where I think when during that time, 2 or 3 schools that contracted COVID and games were forfeit. And, you know, like I say, back in the day, you and I both know, as we would say in Omaha, that hot pot was South Omaha.
Oh, yeah.
And we were going to play South at South. And I just told the girls, you know, we've always had the option you could play with the mask on or off. That probably, and her sister
I don't even
was
understand
killing me.
I don't
Her
even
sister killed me.
understand
That game alone, every girl wore their mask.
But her sister?
Yeah, no, her sister did too, but she led the pack to tell them we're not catching COVID.
We ain't catching it. We want to play.
Yeah, you got to sit
can't
out
play.
those 7, or I think back then it became 7 days.
7 to 10.
But
yeah.
But you, to a certain degree, are forfeiting games, and that's why it was so.
Crazy.
Yes.
See,
Exactly.
it's just we're older, so we're just going through work and having to sit out. But watching and thinking these kids missing opportunities. You probably had a few teammates that was their last year, and then that they were off.
Nope.
No.
We were young. Like,
But all the team was young. Okay,
That's
so you
why
guys.
we all back. Like,
Okay, so you got everybody back this last year.
Oh, not this year. But
I know,
COVID. Oh.
but I'm gonna go ahead and get to it. This last year,
let's go.
you were what, MVP of the MAC?
Yes, sir.
You were MVP of the tournament.
Yes, sir.
When you see those accolades, Coach Ruffin, and you see the numbers match the attitude, the swag, the person as Q that you know, what does that mean as a coach? Even if it was where you didn't get to coach her all the years that you wanted to.
I don't know if she always remembers every time her mom would post something about her or whatever. You remember what I always put on there?
Superstar.
Something like Benson proud. Bunny proud. Always. Bunny proud. Benson proud. You know, like I say, being alumni also, you know, people don't realize it, our alumni backing them and everything. And that's why Benson is so special to me. Because like I said, I graduated there in 78. I got my coaching career there. I left, came back, left again, came back. So I basically only know 2 schools, Benson and South.
Yeah.
But I would always say, if
Benson.
you cut me, I'm bleeding green.
Pick a side, Russ. No, we need to tell him to pick a side. We need to tell him to pick a side.
You know, I mean,
I got to pick a side.
Yeah.
you got to remember,
Well,
he's got a lot of kids that, I mean, I was at South in 2000. There's a lot of the girls that are on that basketball team, Stephanie DeBelka, all them that, I mean, I see them still reaching out to Coach Ruffin. Like, his connection, his web is so strong.
Mhm.
You as a player, how does it feel to give back to an Omaha area, but maybe they don't even know who you are?
Yeah, I would say it's probably definitely a lot of people that don't know who I am. And
They will. They will.
Come on. Look, they will. Like, once I start getting my name out there more, like, they will. But I would just say, like, if it would definitely feel good to give back to the community, because like that's something that I would want people to do for me. Like growing up, I would want somebody that was, you know, doing things and accomplishing things to come back and, you know, just to share their experience and how they got there and what they do to get there.
What's 2023 and 2024 season looking for you guys? And what are you bringing for Toledo?
Fantastic, fantabulous. And I want to repeat everything, like literally everything. I want to repeat.
I love that question because now you just answered my question. That's all I've been wanting to know. Hey, are you going to do the Michael Jordan and say, I'm back?
I'm back.
All right. That's all I want to know.
Yeah, like I want to repeat everything. You know, you can't say like everything's going to go the exact same way.
Perfect.
Everything is not going to go the exact same way, but I just know we got to bring a different type of something to keep us where we at, keep us on the top, because everybody's going to be gunning for us. Like we have a bullseye on our backs.
And you too.
Yeah, correct. But like we just got to figure out a way to stay up there, you know, just work with each other and do that.
How do you feel as a senior? How do you impact the incoming players and the players that you're still working with right now?
I would say I impact them by just being myself every day. Like
leading by example.
Exactly. Leading by example, like every day, even on those days where I know like I'm tired or I know I'm not feeling it, but I just got to show them like, if I could work through it, like y'all could work through it too. Like we on the same team, like we playing together. So let's do this. Like we got
now,
this.
can I ask, do you reach out to anybody that you're interested in? Do you watch AAU basketball or do you kind of let the coaches do the coaching?
I let the coaches do the coaching, but I feel like, like girls like I went to Benson with, like Sani, like I told my coaches about her, like Kaya, like I told my coaches about her, like anybody, I told them about my sister. But yes, but like anybody like that I feel like has potential to like play out there and play at that higher level, like I don't have no problems telling my coach about them.
It's the little things that you keep saying that make people hopefully understand who Q is, who Q's gonna be, and the legacy that you're gonna leave at Toledo. I appreciate you sharing your story. I just hope we reach to one person to understand that with hard work, your dedication, struggles that people sometimes don't realize,
Correct.
but also with the support that you have. What's the most important thing that you got from your support staff?
I would say give me a second, because I know, like, I just want to know how I want to word this,
It's okay.
Okay. They really, like, they just told me, like, they told me, like, I have this, like, unspoken, like, I don't know, like, aura, like, about myself. And I feel like I got to protect that. And the people that I bring into that, like, I just got to let it flow off onto them.
Persona.
Like, yes,
Your persona.
yes, that's the word. Look, my persona. Like, yes, like, I just feed off of a lot of people and they feed off my energy. So, like, just keep that up, like, never lose that.
Well, I could tell you right now, the persona that Coach Ruffin started telling me that I was going to expect and the one that I told him we're going to see is night and day different. So I appreciate you being you and giving off the persona. Once again, this is a Heard At production. We appreciate you tuning in. Watch out for Toledo for this year's women's basketball as we have Quinesha Lockett.
Yes, sir.
Tearing it down one more time.
Yes, sir.
Get them MVPs. And I appreciate Coach Ruffin. I appreciate you sitting in, giving your words. And remember,
And I just want to say this, now that I know you back, me and Tap will be in Toledo.
Let's go.
That's all, folks.
Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it here.